Hello and welcome to the Downsized Weekly Weigh-In. Today is Sunday, October
19th,
2025. And today we're coming to you from the beautiful campus of University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. We're the Downsized. My name is Laraine Durham. I'm here with my husband, Christopher Durham. Been married 22 years, and for about the past year and a half, we've been making videos about our journey with GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, semaglutide, tirzepatide. I've lost over 50 pounds on tirzepatide, and this is our weekly weigh-in where we tell you about what's going on with us, our journey, and we also answer some viewer questions that you guys have left for us on our other videos. If you'd like to leave a question for us to answer in a future video, do they put you on a question mark or a Q?
Question marks.
So when you make a comment below, start with a question mark and maybe we'll answer your question.
Or you can end, it doesn't matter. As long as there's a question mark, basically YouTube will sort them for me and give me all the questions.
On a future video, we might answer your question.
Absolutely, we try to.
All right.
We're actually in the center of the University of North Carolina's campus. I think this campus goes back, 1700s, 1800s, large trees. Here, I'll show you guys where we are.
So yeah, it's October, it's fall, so we're around some very large oak trees and we can hear the acorns falling off the trees by the minute. So if we get randomly hit in the head with an acorn, you don't know why.
Concussed by large acorns.
We're also sitting on a path, like a brick path, walking path. So people might walk by and you might hear people talking. So
one of the famous places people take pictures, and I'll do some B-roll and kind of show you guys, but it's called The Well. It's right over there. There was future graduates in their caps and gowns taking pictures. It's pretty fun. Well,
apparently at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, or I guess they just call it Chapel Hill. What do we call it? Carolina?
Sure.
All right. We're from South Carolina, so when we say Carolina, we think University of South Carolina. But anyway, there's a very famous well on the campus, and the tradition, apparently the night before the first class, the students kiss the well for good luck.
Doesn't sound sanitary to me.
One of our good friends' daughters is a freshman here, and she stood in line for 3 hours with other freshmen, I guess, for a chance to kiss the well.
Craziness.
That was a new one.
So believe it or not, this is a channel about GLP-1s. We talk about all things GLP-1s. We just happen to be at the University of North Carolina today. We'll tell you a little bit more about why we're here later. But we bring you the news, we interview folks, we talk to doctors, we travel the world as much as we can, and we take GLP-1s.
Travel the world.
We do.
We do love to travel, so you will see us in different locations.
So we publish videos every day about GLP-1s and what's going on in the world in our lives. Please take a moment and like and subscribe, if you will. It'll alert you every time that we publish a video. We also like to say we're not doctors. We're just a husband and wife, suburban couple who have had success with these medications. And, it's worked out. So we decided to start a YouTube channel, and this is what we do every day. All right, so we always start with talking about our weights. We're both in maintenance now, but, maintenance is the rest of the journey.
Right. When you think about it, over the course of the rest of your life, the weight loss part is a relatively short part, although up till the point I went on the GLP-1, I had been trying to lose weight for my whole life. I'm a 56-year-old mom of 3 grown kids, ages 19, 21, and 27. All 3 kids are here with us this weekend. We're here for my cousin's daughter's wedding. Yes. So anyway, we started this weight loss journey September 29th of 2023, and I lost 50 pounds, around 50 pounds, and I've been maintaining that loss for about a year and a half now.
So what did you start at?
I forget. My starting weight was 193 pounds. Today my weight is 143 pounds. Well, actually, that was my weight yesterday because we didn't bring our travel scale. Did you bring the travel scale?
No, I did not.
Nah. But yesterday my weight was right at 143 pounds, so that's an even 50 pounds down. So I've been maintaining anywhere between 140 and 145. That's kind of the range that I like to be within. And I like being at 143 because that's an even 50 pounds down. And that's kind of just where I feel good.
And how tall are you?
I think I'm 5'5". Now my daughter is debating my weight,
Well, I think she did in the
height.
video we did in Somerville. They were giving you a hard time, right?
Yeah, but when we had their DEXA scan, we got measured. You know, the little thing that goes boop comes down, and he measured me at 5'5".
He did indeed.
So
I saw it.
I'm 5'5". Yep. Yeah.
What dose are you on?
This week I took a 7.5 milligram dose of compounded tirzepatide. I had gone, during my weight loss portion, I had gone all the way up to a 12.5 milligram dose. And then I hit my first goal weight and I just started coming down. I thought that's what you were supposed to do at the time when I hit my goal weight. Now kind of the jury's kind of mixed, whether you stay on your top dose or whether you come down. But for me, I came down. And so I came down, I got all the way down to a 5 milligram dose and figured out that was not enough. I felt more food noise, and so I went back up to 7.5. And even for a time I had gone back up to 10, but this week I decided to drop back down to 7.5. So I've been on a maintenance dose for about a year and a half. As I started maintenance and started coming down in dose, I kept losing weight without even really meaning to. That's how I figured out that maybe my dose was a little too high, because I wasn't eating enough to maintain the weight I wanted to maintain. This is all just kind of figuring things out as you go along, and everybody is different in this journey. You have to find out really what works for you.
And talk to your doctor, please, because these are prescription medications, and it's a serious conversation.
It is.
Right, so you're doing well?
I mean, yeah. Yeah,
it's good.
You want to tell your stats?
Christopher Durham, we've been married, as she said, 22 years. I'm 57 years old. Started at 286.4 pounds, and as of yesterday when I weighed, I was at 185.4 pounds, which I guess would make me an even 100 down. Basically, my center weight that I'm aiming for is always 185 pounds. Up a pound, down a pound, it's all good. A couple of pounds, it doesn't really matter. I am 5'10.5" tall, currently on a 15 milligram dose, and have been. My notes are not as good as Lorraine's. Mine look like this, as I've told you, and I keep it all on a scale as well, but I don't know, 50 weeks, something. I've been on 15 milligrams a long time. It continues to work for me well. Don't have any plans of going down right now, basically just adjusting calories and seeing what happens, but my weight has fluctuated a couple pounds up or down for the last, 30 weeks, something like that. So it's working just fine.
All right, cool.
Right?
Yep.
So maintenance, it's a little scary.
Right, and there's a squirrel over there. Squirrels freak me out. Do squirrels freak you out? I'm not a fan of squirrels. Anyway, maintenance. Oh, and the acorns are following rapidly. Maintenance is going to be the rest of your life, right? We want to maintain this weight loss, and how do we do that? How do we figure it out? Do we go off the medicine? Do we come down in dose? These are all great questions to work with your doctor and talk about. For me, I'm going to stay on a maintenance dose, probably weekly. At some point, I might go to 10 days or longer. I'm not sure. We'll play around with that maybe, but for right now, I do take a weekly shot for maintenance. I'm on compounded tirzepatide, and I just feel like I spent my whole life up to now battling my weight, always trying to lose weight, diet after diet after diet, exercise after exercise after exercise. And I think that if I go off of this medication, I'll be right back to where I was. I have the disease of obesity. Obesity is a disease. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. Yep. It's not your fault. We didn't choose to have the disease of obesity, right? We didn't wake up and choose obesity one day. We have the disease of obesity, and these GLP-1 medications are treatments for the disease of obesity. They are not cures, unfortunately, but they're treatments, much like people who are on high blood pressure medication or on they're on a treatment. Type 2 diabetics take this medication as a treatment. This disease of obesity is a chronic progressive disease. Yes. Degrees. So it doesn't go away, but we can manage it, right? So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell people why we were here. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And you might be wondering, why the heck are they in Chapel Hill? Well, I think I did say it actually.
I think you did.
I think I did. My cousin's daughter is getting married, and she was actually the flower girl in our wedding 22 years ago. And so I think she's now
26, 27, 28,
somewhere in there. We're just very happy to be able to be here. So this cousin is on my dad's side of the family, and my dad's parents came to America from Greece. So my grandparents were born in Greece. My dad was born here. So that side of the family is all Greek.
Very Greek. Yeah.
Very Greek. My dad did not marry a Greek woman, my mother. That's why I don't particularly look Greek. But if you saw my sister, you might think that she looks Greek. So we're here with all the relatives. So my sister and her family, my cousins from New Hampshire, my cousins from Massachusetts, my cousins from Greensboro, North Carolina. Unfortunately, my mom and dad were not able to make the trip because my dad's health just will not allow him to do that right now. And so they were bummed that they weren't able to come. There's a bug on you. But, and also on that other side of the family, like my cousin's cousins, who I always see at these functions, who are not my cousin because they're on the other, it's hard to explain. But I have a couple of them that feel like my cousins, but I'm not actually related to them. It's kind of my big fat Greek wedding kind of situation with all the Greeks. And of course, there's always some older women that I've known throughout my life that, again, are not related to me, but they seem like, aunts or aunties or uncles. In Greek, we call them Theo for uncle or Thea for aunt. So we have Theo Carrie and Thea Kathy, who are not my aunts and uncles, but I've known them for my whole life. So
they're your cousins' aunts and uncles.
Right. They're my cousin's aunts. They're my uncle's wife's sister. Anyway, there's a lot going on here.
And then that's the bride's side of the family. So the
Right.
groom's side of the family is just a nice southern family from outside of Charlotte.
They live near where we do.
Mm-hmm.
They actually live like a couple towns over from where we live in North Carolina. I talked to the mother of the groom, and of course, they're all very excited, and we have some things in common and places we know in common, and so it was nice to meet her and talk about
all your stuff.
Talk about stuff. Last night we had a cocktail party at one of the bars here. It was called the Crunkleton. Classic, like old school bar.
Speakeasy kind of thing. Yeah.
It was very cool. So we met up with all of my cousins beforehand and hung out for a little bit, and then we went to the reception, and it was just jam-packed with people. So it was a lot of fun. Saw a lot of people that I had not seen in a really long time, relatives, and
some of those people I hadn't seen in 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they live far away. Like some of my, first cousins live in New Hampshire, so we just don't see them. They're grown, they have kids, they have their, we're just busy, right? So it's nice to be able to get together with family that we haven't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to wait for them to go by? So anyway, last night was an opening reception. We're actually filming this on Saturday, and then this afternoon is the wedding, and it's going to be outside at the Carolina Inn, which is a beautiful old historic hotel in Chapel Hill. So we are lucky enough to also be staying there, and it should be lovely. And it's black tie optional, so
Fancy.
it's fancy. My cousin Christopher, I have a cousin Christopher, not to be confused with my husband Christopher, but my cousin Christopher said that he brought his tuxedo that he owns. And we're like, oh, you own a tuxedo? And he's like, well, yeah, it seems like about once a year I need it for a black tie event. And I was like, okay.
Well, I bought a new suit, but...
Yeah, no, you bought a new, because nothing you had fit. And I had to buy a new dress because what I thought was fancy enough, my girls told me was not, in fact, fancy enough, because it was like like a knee-length dress, and they said, no, you really have to be a floor-length dress. So we had this whole, anyway,
Drama.
went out and bought a dress,
All right, you ready for questions now?
I guess.
This, as Laraine mentioned, is our weekly weigh-in. We'll weigh in on questions that you guys have or comments that you have. If you leave a comment under this video, make sure you use a question mark. That way when I sort it, YouTube will give me all the questions. So question number 1 from El Fuentes 4098 says, do you know anything about Retatrutide? I've seen mostly men reviewing it, as I guess it helps to spare lean muscle. I'm wondering if Retatrutide is safe for people to use from compounding pharmacies. Several weeks ago, I did an entire video on Retatrutide. You can go back and search for it. It has Retatrutide in the name, so you can find it. Retatrutide is a triple agonist that's owned by Eli Lilly, and it's currently in clinical trials. It has 3 activators, so a GLP-1, a GIP, and a glucagon. That's 1 extra than tirzepatide. Unless you're in a clinical trial, there is currently no legal way to take Retatrutide. Yes, there are people on the internet talking about it. There's a lot of muscle bros out there that have figured out ways to source it through the gray market, which is illegal. They are using drugs that are marked not for human consumption. We do not recommend that. Will it be good for women as well as men when it comes out? If you believe the early clinical results, yes, it will be. It will probably be the end of next year before Retatrutide is available. In all likelihood, it will not be available through a compounder anytime soon. Stay tuned. It should be a great help for a lot of people, but it's going to be at least a year before it's on the market.
Yeah, I mean, we look forward to the official eventual FDA approval and release of it, but right now there's really no legal way to get it.
All right, next question from Lori Mullins.
I found this a very interesting topic. Can I participate if I am not on a GLP-1 yet? Oh, this was from your interview with Dr. Fritz Erickson. Dr. Fritz is conducting a survey of GLP-1 users about their experience.
In psychology,
Yeah, so he hopes to get 1,000
I think so,
responses. Yeah. So Christopher interviewed him the other day. Can I participate if I am not on a GLP-1 yet? I'm working with 2 of my doctors to see how it can be approved by insurance. I am now almost 80 and have struggled with weight my whole life. Now my weight problems are taking a real toll on my health. Well, I hope that you can get that approved, Lori. But yes, the answer is you can take the survey if you are not currently on a GLP-1, but
yep, and I'll leave a link to the survey. He's actually a professor at Northern Michigan and has a whole team working on this. And when the results come back and they're completely, you don't have to provide any personal information, so they're completely anonymous. When the results come back, he and the team will actually come on the channel and present the results. So we'll get to see what came out of it. So it's super exciting there.
Yeah.
Next question from Mary Renfro. Why would I be getting Mounjaro 10 marketed by Lilly USA LLC, Indianapolis, Indiana, 4/8 blah, 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 and find it but a product of Canada? And I find it interesting, it says no U.S. standard of potency. This wording is also on Lilly boxes for Indianapolis, Indiana. Is this normal? Is there no standard? So Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk both have global supply chains. They are making these products all over the world. And each country that it's manufactured has slightly different rules on how packaging is marked. So does Eli Lilly have a standard for potency? Yes. Does the United States government have a standard for potency? No. So because that potency adjusts by dose, it's just the way the U.S. government writes it. So yes, Lilly publishes standards, they're out there, but the U.S. government has not said this is the official standard for potency. So what the Canadian government does is they say there isn't one from the U.S. government. It's all just packaging legalese. That doesn't matter. So is it possible you're getting medication from Canada? Sure. That means they just needed to shift some supply around. You could also be getting it from other countries around the world. It wouldn't shock me. Again, they're managing a global supply chain and trying to keep things in stock as best they can. So it's not a surprise.
Okay.
Oh, I want to take this one from Dragonberry.
Dragonberry says, one recommendation is always take the shot, whether starting out or on maintenance. What happens when it's not affordable, even as a compound, because finances have changed or loss of a job? That's rough. So what happens if you just can't afford it anymore. It's expensive. We get it. Like, at that point, you're off the medication.
Or you start with that. So if you know that's going to happen, a lot of times that will be a strategy you can work with your doctor and say, hey, let's work through what I have. Maybe you want to go down in dose so it stretches it out a little bit. Maybe you want to stretch the doses out. Talk to them and see, how long you can get it going. And you just do the best you can. And then you have to fall back, and it's unfortunate to say, but you have to fall back on those. Hopefully you've built habits of eating that are a little healthier, you're more active. And that's where those lifestyle changes have to come into play until you can afford it again, because honestly, that's what's left.
Yeah, if this were to happen to me, to us, what I would really focus on is tracking my food, because it is really all about the food. This medicine, for me, makes it possible not to think about food and not to be hungry feeling a lot of times, but if you can control the amount of food that you're eating, you can control your weight. And it's not a matter of exercising it off. While exercise is, of course, great for your body, for your mind, for everything, it's really, you have to focus on the food. So I would track my calories. I would figure out how many calories I need to maintain or lose my weight. There's some calculators online. There's some on our website at thedownsized.org. And I would write down or track every single thing that I ate, because really I've found at times when I really focus on that and I really do that, at Weight Watchers, that was when I was the most successful. So pre GLP-1s, I really found tracking to be very helpful. Now, a lot of people don't like to track. I don't think anybody likes to track. Maybe my old Weight Watchers leader, who she really liked to track, but it's kind of a drag, right? And it kind of makes you think about food even more, because you're tracking what you're going to eat, what you did eat, what you want to eat. Like, it can be overwhelming. So I would find a good app. We're sponsored by the Me Again app. You can get it on the App Store. It's just for Apple, not for Android. And the acorns are falling.
Yeah.
And I would use an app like that, where you can even just take a picture of your food, and it'll calculate the calories and the fiber and the protein for you. That would be my best suggestion.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, because my number one recommendation is just take the shot. But sometimes things happen, and you do the best you can. So you do the best you can, and you move on, and hopefully at some point you get a new job, you get different insurance, and you're able to go back on the medication if you need to.
I really do hope that eventually the prices will come down on these medications. Orforglipron is a oral pill that is not on the market yet, but we hope that it comes out maybe in 2026. So when that comes out, hopefully that'll be a better price, but who knows? So we're hoping for better prices at some point. But
there's lots of rumblings from Lilly, from Novo, from the government that things are going to change. It hasn't changed as of today, but hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. All right, next question from Wandering Teacup 39. Hello, Wandering Teacup 39. Thank you again for a great video. My question is, thinking ahead to Thanksgiving and holiday air travel, how do you take your GLP-1 vial needles through TSA? Do you put the chiller case along with makeup liquid bag on the conveyor belt, or do you have to present your prescription documentation to someone before taking it through security? Believe it or not, it's super easy. So the first thing you have to know is there are people traveling every day with needles and syringes and pens for all kinds of things, whether that be an EpiPen for allergies, diabetes. So they see them every day. So don't feel like you're the only person going through. I have taken both Mounjaro Zepbound pens as well as needle and vial through TSA many times, as well as on cruise ships many times. I put it in one of the bags that we have on our Amazon store. I don't have one with us today. A travel case, like you mentioned. I don't even take it out of my bag and pass it through. Honestly, theoretically, if you have the prescription, it's nice. Usually we have just a piece of it printed out so you can see it. They have never once looked at it. So one time They randomly pulled me for a search that had nothing to do with the needles or anything. The guy pulled it out and looked at it and went, "Oh, nice case."
Nice case. Yeah.
And I moved on, but they've never said a thing about it.
Do you think that we don't have to take it out of our bag because we have TSA pre-check?
I don't think
If
they make you
you're
do it anymore
Do you
anyway.
still have to take your, do you put the liquid, like if you're going to take your liquids out of your bag, I don't even think they make you take your
I don't
liquids
think so.
out anymore, right? But you can only have them in the approved sizes in the clear Ziploc bag. Yeah, so you don't even take the travel case out?
Nope.
But yeah, we have a couple travel cases, like Christopher said, on our Amazon site. If you go to the downsized.org and click store, you can link to our Amazon store and check those out. And they're moderately priced, about $15, $20. I don't think they're
And I've seen people
expensive.
use children's insulated lunch boxes. I've seen people use, thermos kind of cups.
Well, Mochi is now shipping again in the blue Mochi thermoses.
Yeah, those
so
work.
Those are great to travel with.
All right. Catherine Engel 8063 says, I have a CT scan coming up. Do you have a reference I can forward to my doctors on the Dr. Stohall reference? Thanks so much for your hard work. I'm going to try to get to the Las Vegas meetup. So a couple things there. So this past week in the news, we reported on basically a study out of England that said that when you did a CT scans, it was giving some unusual readings, that people who were reading them needed to know you were on the medication. Not that you actually had a problem, but that it just kind of looked a little off. So I will put a link in this description. There's also a link under the news for the description that you can go and look at that research. And if you want to give it to your doctor, you can. Essentially, they just need to know that you're on the medication so that you don't have to have any more tests or anything for no reason.
What's the part that shows up different on a CT?
Do
you remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was in the news, yeah.
It's just another important reminder to always let all of your doctors know that you're on this medication, and they can be aware.
Catherine also says she's going to try and meet us in Las Vegas at our meetup. We have several meetups coming up in the next few weeks that are absolutely free in Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Chicago. If you go to our website on the downsized.org, you can RSVP for them and see when the dates and where they are, and come meet us. Look, Lorraine's glowing in the light now. Very angelic. Oh.
This is from Kathy Gage, 3381. How does someone find out if a compounding pharmacy is state approved? What kind of proof might someone ask for? Oh, that just went away. I think you can pretty much do it with a quick Google search. So I use Mochi as my online telehealth provider. I talk to Mochi's online doctor. Mochi's doctor writes my prescription to a compounding pharmacy that is licensed in my state. I trust Mochi to vet the compounding pharmacies, but if I did get a new one the other day, and I did go online and I did a quick Google search and I looked up their length of time in business, which was over 20 years, and their certifications. And I do trust my online provider to put me with a trusted compounding pharmacy, but it doesn't hurt to also check.
But the thing about compounding pharmacies is most of them are business to business, so they're not selling directly to you.
Right.
You have to have a prescriber that writes a prescription to the pharmacy. So whether that be your local doctor, who should know the local compounding pharmacies, or a telehealth provider who should vet the pharmacies and make sure they're all state regulated and following the appropriate regulations, whatever state you're in, because it's different for every state. If you don't trust your telehealth, don't buy from them. Just telling you right now, don't do it.
Right. Yeah. I use Mochi. If you'd like to sign up for Mochi, you can use my code. There's a link in the code in the description, and you can save $40 on your first order. My code is QIYG, the letter O, and 8. So it's in the description if you'd like to get started.
Next question from Anna Gonzalez. Hi, love your podcast. Really appreciate it. I have a question for you about GLP-1s. Do you notice any difference between the brand name Zepbound and the compound medication? I have to switch to compound due to expensive price on the brand name, but not sure if it will work the same. Thank you for your help. So this is where I say hello, Eli Lilly lawyers. I have personally taken compounded tirzepatide, Mounjaro, and Zepbound. It's the same active ingredient in all three. I have taken compounded tirzepatide from, I think, now 6 or 7 pharmacies. You can hear the bell towers ringing.
Excuse me.
From 6 or 7 pharmacies. I have not noticed even a bit of difference between any of them. I'll tell you, I've lost the same amount of weight. If I had side effects, they were the same side effects. Really, I don't have side effects anymore, but if I did, they were the same. Your mileage may, of course, vary. We're not doctors, we're not scientists, and the Eli Lillys are writing all this down for future court cases, so my personal experience. Next question from Tiger Eyes.
Are there specialized DEXA scans? I've been excited to get one, and I got a referral from my doctor and received my DEXA scan today. However, my technician stated it was only to check bone loss and rule out osteoporosis. She says it does not tell me about muscle and fat. I don't have the results, but she is sure that it's not the DEXA scan I see and hear others in the GLP community talking about. So your doctor can refer you to a DEXA scan to rule out bone loss and osteoporosis.
Most insurance will pay for that.
I had one years ago. I think after I turned 40, maybe my doctor sent me for one, and it was at the hospital, and I just laid on the table, and it was done in 10 minutes, and I got the results back that said, yeah, you got good bones. Okay, great. So that's what this person just had. The DEXA scan that we had a couple weeks ago, we did a video about it. You can go back and watch. If you search DEXA in our videos, that'll pop up. We did a specialized DEXA scan at a place that only does DEXA scans for muscle and, to tell you all the things.
Well, so it's the exact same device.
It's the same device.
Same machine. The question is, what software are they using to give you the readings and the measurements? So those are really retail devices. You can walk in most cities, and there is a place, whether it's in a truck or a strip mall or whatever, and pay between $50 and $200 and go in about 20 minutes, get the results of a DEXA scan. And you don't need a doctor's prescription for it or anything like that.
No, in our town, I just Google searched DEXA scan, and I came upon this place called DEXA Fit. Mm-hmm. I think it's like not a franchise, but they're kind of related. There's several locations, and I didn't even know they were in our town. I said, how long have y'all been here? And he was like, oh, since January. And I was like, oh, all right. So we just called and set it up. Ours was a little bit on the expensive side. It was around $100. Kimberly, yay, Kimberly. Some people just walk by and they all have shirts that say Kimberly with the person's pictures all over it. They must be having a party or something. So that was fun. So yeah, so you can Google search DEXA scan in your town, and some people have got them with Groupons and gotten deals and things like that. So you might want to look there as well.
Yep. Next question from Becky Clark. She says, any information on the lawsuit from New York versus CVS Caremark? It's been over a month ago. Thanks, Christopher and Laraine. There is currently a lawsuit that's a set of attorneys from two states are trying to get together concerning CVS Caremark, the PBM, not the drugstore, the pharmacy benefit managers, basically cutting a deal with Novo Nordisk to shift all of their GLP-1 business from Zepbound to Wegovy. So a lot of people have been impacted out there. I actually reached out to the attorney and spoke to someone in their office, and they said, we are accepting more people into the class, but it has not moved forward. They're still basically in a class action suit. They want to get enough people in that they can make money off of it, because they'll then pay everybody, if they win, $2 or something like that, right? These things take a very long time, and it will probably be several years before anything comes of that. So if you're hoping that tomorrow you get your Zepbound back, I'm sorry, that's probably not going to happen. All right, Jim Lux.
Jim writes, do you know of North Carolina state-regulated compound pharmacies that make semaglutides? Being blood dry from Lilly Direct here. So I don't even know how to.
And Jim, let's clarify just a minute, because you're asking about semaglutides and you're saying you're being bled dry by Lilly Direct.
Oh, right.
Lilly Direct sells Zepbound, which is tirzepatide. So make sure you're getting the right medication no matter what you buy. But those are two different medicines. They both are GLP-1s, but they're two different medicines.
Right.
This kind of goes back to the prior question that we answered. I don't know of any specific ones in North Carolina. Honestly, it doesn't really matter if they exist in North Carolina. It matters that they're licensed to distribute to North Carolina.
Yes.
So I would go online and look for a good telehealth, or talk to your local doctor and say, hey, and they can call it in. And there are compounding pharmacies that are either a telehealth your doctor can write to all across the country that can deliver to North Carolina or any state. We use Mochi, as she said earlier.
Right, so we use Mochi, and my Mochi doctor writes a prescription to a compounding pharmacy that is licensed to ship to the state of North Carolina. And we've had several different compounding pharmacies that have shipped to us. The latest one is Medavera. There's a pharmacy called DCA out of Tennessee that we've gotten shipments from. Empower Pharmacy in Texas ships to North Carolina. Red Rock Pharmacy, I think they're out of Utah, ships to North Carolina.
But they're not retail. You can't just
you can't
call
walk
them
up there
and get it.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Actually, somebody, maybe Empower, you can't. But anyway, they're in Texas.
It's a prescription medications. A doctor or prescriber has to send the prescription to them.
So if you're interested in getting off of Lilly Direct, because it's expensive at around $4.99 a month, and getting medicine compounded from a telehealth provider, you can go through somebody like Mochi. My link and my code are in the description. And the current price of tirzepatide with Mochi is $199 a month plus a $79 membership fee. They also sell compounded semaglutide, and that's $99 a month plus the $79 membership fee.
All right, next question from So Many Trees 100. She says, or they say, so very appreciative of your informative videos. I'm 50 pounds down and approaching goal. Congratulations. I know I worry too much, but does anyone else fear they are living in a bubble that might break and all the weight might come back again? I have stored my large clothes in bins, but I'm afraid to let them go. With the exorbitant cost of these meds, the slowdown in getting new ones approved, and the hope they will be offered at a reasonable price point, it's enough to keep me awake at night.
Oh, I mean, I get it. I absolutely get it. You know, there was a while back, about a year ago at this time, where, you know, compounding was kind of on the edge of going away, and what would happen if I didn't have access to that anymore, and, you know, there's no way we could afford to pay the Lilly Direct price or the, you know, the full price for Zepbound. I get it. I kept my clothes. I only just recently, maybe a month or so, gave away the rest of my clothes. So I've been in maintenance now for a year and a half, and I feel confident that compounding will continue. Now, I don't know. You know, I don't.
Right now, it looks like it'll be fine.
Right now, I think we're fine. And there's so many medications in the works. There are so many companies racing to produce new GLP-1s. We've got orforglipron that'll probably be launched in 2026. We've got Retatrutide that will hopefully come a little after that.
There's amylins, there's survodutide.
There's a lot of other things coming. And the hope is that more competition, more drugs will drive the prices down, and so we'll be able to continue. You know, I think it was very hard for me to get rid of that last batch of clothes, right? Because every other diet I've ever been on, I've lost 20, 30, 40 pounds, and then went off, got tired, or food noise was too much, or it just came back, right? So I get that fear, I get that anxiety, but you know what? For now, everything's good. I can only live like in the moment. I mean, I can't let those worries like keep me up at night, because honestly, we have too many other things to worry about.
Yep.
Right? For now, I'm very confident in my ability to get and take the compounded medication. I'm very confident in my ability to maintain my 50-pound weight loss. And I don't believe my weight is going to return to, you know, over 200 pounds where I was, you know, prior. I get it. It's scary. It's a scary feeling. And, you know, and I think you really have to. It took me, I mean, what are we into now? We're into 2 years on this medication. Mm-hmm. And really the first year, I was like, this works too good. Like, this can't be true. This is gonna all come back. Like, I'm gonna eat a donut at some point and all this weight is gonna come back. And what if it comes back? Like, it's a real fear, you know, and I get it. But as long as we're taking this medication, and as long as we're able to get it and take it and maintain our weight, it's good. And other new things are coming. So hopefully this will not keep you up at night.
Well, what I would tell you too is you say there's a slowdown in getting new ones approved. I don't really believe there is, honestly. The companies are rushing as fast as they possibly can, and it's not just Novo and Lilly, it's Viking and Amgen, and there's a whole handful from all over the world that are doing it. Beyond that, the FDA and their new leader with this administration, Marty Makary, has said that they can fast track many of these if they have need, and I think they're going to fast track them. So I think we will see these drugs. I mean, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but in the next 2 years, you will see a lot of them come to fruition. So I think it's exciting. It won't look like this. And the biggest thing to know on pricing and availability is you don't have to worry. The way it is today will not be what it looks like a year from now, 3 years from now, or 5 years from now.
I mean, the prices have come down even since we've been on these medications for the past 2 years. I mean, I think even the prices of compounded medications have come down in the past 2 years. You know, I think they're just going to continue to come down. I think we've said 74% of America has overweight or obesity. So the market for these drugs, pardon the pun, is huge, right? And they're very successful moneymakers for Lilly and Novo. I think Lilly made over $5 billion in profit last quarter.
They won.
Yeah, so other companies are racing to get a piece of this pie, and we're only just at the tip of the iceberg. We are just starting to see these drugs come out, and they are like nothing ever before. It's revolutionary in medicine. It's like I heard a doctor say it's going to be the biggest thing since statins.
It'll be bigger. So it's
hang
coming.
in there. Yeah.
So it won't be $500, $1,000 for the rest of your life. It might be the next year, but it'll change. Next question, our favorite topic, pooping or colonoscopy prep, is from, actually I don't know who it's from because I blocked the name out. I didn't get it.
Whoops, sorry.
Sorry, whoever left this question, thank you. Do you have colonoscopy prep tips? I recently failed my bowel prep and had to reschedule my procedure. Emoji, crying emoji. I truly feel that the standard prep protocols need to be tweaked for GLP-1 patients. I held my shot for a full 7 days, which is what my doctor advised, but it didn't cut it. I am currently on the 1.7 dose of Wegovy. I'm holding it for a full 11 days before that. So yes, it slows down gastric motility, right? Things don't move through quite as quickly. I mean, I've read all the advisories. What I would tell you is 7 days is what most people recommend. Typically, if you time yours right, you can actually push 14 days, and you'll only miss one shot depending on when you schedule your procedure. And 14 days is a lot better. And then read the instructions and follow the instructions to the T. Do not eat solid food. Follow the instructions.
Yeah, I think didn't your last colonoscopy
more in there than I was supposed to. Yeah.
He maybe didn't follow the instructions exactly, and the order of the prep and the amount of liquid, and so it's, you know, follow your doctor's orders. But if you've failed your prep and you know that 7 days was not enough for you, maybe work with your doctor to
if you time it right, you can get it a full 14 days out with only missing one shot.
Well, I think when I've had 2 colonoscopies in the past year, because I had one and then they found a spot they didn't like, so I had to go for a second one where they did some stuff in there, cut some things out and fuse some things back together. And in one of those, I think that the first one or the second one, I was actually 17 days between shots, because I remember I read the instructions and it said be off your shot for 7 days, and I said, I'm going to be off my shot 14 days. Why did I do that? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Don't follow what I did. But I ended up being off the shot actually 17 days by the time my procedure came. So I missed 2 shots, and then a few days after the procedure, 2 or 3 days maybe after the procedure, I took my next shot. And let me tell you, I was hungry. Like I was like having a hard time. So that was probably a little too long for me to go, but I wanted to make sure that things were cleaned out because, my grandmother died of colon cancer, so I've been getting these colonoscopies. Now I have to go like every year because they found a problem. They're important. You want to make sure you do them correctly. You want to make sure you follow your doctor's advice, and that prep is, making everything clear in there for them to see. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I would probably tell you need more than 7 days, but talk to your doctor.
Like I say, I would try when you're scheduling your colonoscopy to make it such that you can get 14 days out with only missing one shot, which means that your procedure would be like the day before your second shot would be.
You'll have to look at a calendar and figure it out, but you want to make sure that you're cleaned out for that procedure.
If you have a tendency to be constipated anyway, make sure you're actively managing it
even
well
before the prep.
So don't come to the prep and be like backed all the way up.
And depend on the prep, right? And I have this problem with constipation, right? So I take fiber gummies every day. I try to eat enough fiber, but really I fail at that pretty regularly. I have some constipation remedies that I like. I use Mag 07. There's a link in the description of this. You can go right to it. It's on Amazon. It's on our Amazon store also. And I don't take that every day. I only take it if I haven't pooped in like 3 days. I'll take it at night, and it gets things moving again. So it's just something I have to manage. I think I had this issue before GLP-1s and didn't really, never really talked about pooping with like
it's great party conversation.
anyone until now. And people are like, some people poop every day. I'm like, you poop every day? I've never pooped every day. So anyway, yeah, you got to manage that.
Last question from Lynn Morris. She says she is new to compounding with Mochi, was on 7.5 injector pen for Zepbound, lost 81 pounds since March. That's fabulous. Good for you. Now on maintenance. Want to try 5 milligrams on needle, but don't know how to draw up needle. Goes from 10 to 100 with 4 single lines in between. Mochi says draw 53 units. Could you tell me how? Well, so this is where it gets fun. And we're not doctors. We're not pharmacists. I'm not going to tell you how to do 53 units in general, but I'll tell you how the needles work. Typically, the needles that are provided have basically 10-unit breaks. So just like you said, every 10 units, there's a big line.
10,
and
20,
10,
30,
20, 30,
50,
right? And in between, in your case, there's 4 lines in between. So your challenge is you're looking for
Which
a
line am I
3,
going for?
right?
Yeah.
So those are only in 2 increments, 2, 4, 6, 8, right? You just have to estimate it. Take your best guess. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I always round up a little bit. So if I were doing 50, what did you say, 53 units, I'd go to 50. I'd go to 50. Well, 54. There's no odd numbers on the.
So you might be getting a
smidgen more, but
slightly, higher dose, but it should be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to, and that's I hate that they don't make it correlate to what is actually on the syringes, right? It's hard to see. I always have to put my glasses on. I have to really look at it and make sure that I'm doing it right. So you always want to read all the instructions that come with your medication. Make sure you're pulling the right number of units into that syringe, or as close as you can get.
And if your compounding pharmacy changes, the amount you pull could change.
Yeah, every compounding pharmacy I've seen is a different number of units for the same dose. What units I'm taking for my dose are going to be different than somebody else. So don't compare in units because you can't.
Yep. But it sounds like you've done great. So good for you.
Yeah, you've lost 80 pounds, 81 pounds.
So you should come on and do an interview on the Downsized Dish. Tell them how she could do that.
Tell them how to do that, Laraine. Well, you send me an email to laraine@thedownsized.org. You have to spell my name right or I won't get your email. It's LARAINE@thedownsized.org. Just say, hey, Laraine, I want to do an interview. And I'll say, cool, click this link, pick a time. So you don't have to write me a big, long dissertation. I just ask that you are on a GLP-1 journey and you're willing to share your story with me and our viewers.
No matter where you are in the journey. You can just be starting or you can be done or somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter. But while we're talking about the downsized.org, though, make sure you go check it out. You can sign up for our email list. And actually, I've sent a couple of emails out in the last few weeks. I did one yesterday about the psychology research. So you guys may have gotten it. I think we've got a 115 or 16 responses to that so far, but you can go sign up for the email list. We also have an Amazon store that Lorraine's curated a whole set of things that we use to help us out there, and check it out. We are Amazon affiliates. We make a small commission on it. It doesn't add any cost for you though, so have no fear. And you can check out our cruise. So the 2026 second annual Downsized at Sea cruise will sail out of Miami, Florida on the Royal Caribbean Freedom of the Seas ship, and we will go from Miami to Nassau, Bahamas, and their private island, Coco Cay. We'll hang out together, we'll do activities each day, we'll eat dinner, we'll have meet and greets, we'll film a live, all kinds of fun stuff.
Sounds great. Where do I sign up?
You go to thedownsized.org. You can reach out to our travel agents,
agent.
Kelly and Roberta, and they will help you out.
Right.
Right?
Yep. Kelly was on a cruise just the other day. My friend Sandy called her to sign up for the cruise, and Kelly was on a cruise, but she signed her up for our cruise while she was on a cruise.
And next week we'll actually be on that ship, so watch for some more videos, because we're going to film some videos from there showing you guys.
We're going to go
the
on
ship.
a cruise to get ready for our Downsized cruise. So yeah, next week we'll be on the Freedom of the Seas, and then we will get off Freedom of the Seas and then walk over to
a different ship,
Wonder
of the Seas.
Wonder of the Seas, and we'll be on that ship for 5 days. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you see us doing that. Oh, there's a little doggy. Hey, doggy.
It's getting later in the day and lots of people are getting out, so we're going to finish up. All right, so if you want to leave a question for our weekly weigh-in, leave it underneath this video. Make sure you use a question mark so YouTube can sort it for me and I get all of your questions. And that's it for us this week. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Make sure you join us each Wednesday night for our live, and you can ask questions live and in person there as well. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
And we are The Downsized.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.